This is ChannelPro Weekly, episode 259. Our guest today, Ronnie Parisella of Databit, recorded June 27th, 2024. Hello and welcome to ChannelPro Weekly, episode 265. My name is Matt Whitlock, technology editor for the ChannelPro Network, and your host of this fine show for folks out there who are like you. And who are you? You are a VAR. You're an IT integrator. You're a system builder. You're a managed services provider. You are a virtual CIO. You are one of many of those things, and probably a lot more under the surface because people are complicated. And there's lots of things about people, but hopefully you do technology with other businesses in that way, because then you're going to understand a lot more of what's going on the show and what we're going to be talking about. And if that's not you, then I encourage you to sit around and listen anyway, because we're going to be talking about some fascinating topics with a fascinating guest, I might add. And who is that guest that we have this week? Well, he is a senior IT pro with over 25 years of experience working in New York City IT services. He co-founded and ran a successful MSP for 10 years. He's helped build and rebuild over a dozen MSPs. He's a frequent contributor to numerous industry publications, including ChannelPro. He's also named a leading CTO under 40 by VAR Business Magazine. Please welcome the one, the only, Ronnie Parisella. Welcome, Ronnie.
Hello, Matt. How are you?
Hey, it's great to have you back on the show. It's been a minute since we've had you on, but our longtime listeners and viewers will ultimately recognize that voice and recognize that face and know that they are in store for some great stuff that's coming up. How you been, Ronnie?
I'm good. I hot off of the ChannelPro Live down in Columbus a couple of weeks back. Had a great time. Got great feedback from the MSPs in the room. Over 75 MSPs. Met some really nice young businesses doing, looking good.
Awesome. And for those who may not have caught an earlier episode with you, tell us a little bit more about you and your background and what you're doing.
Currently, I am a project manager for an MSP in New Jersey named Databit, and we deal with large corporate projects. I'm mostly on the policies and procedures side when it comes to project management, laying out the organizational to-dos and making sure that our templates are good and that our people are following the procedures. But project management is IT management and vice versa. So you really have to be organized when it comes to dollars in, dollars out, and that especially means the amount of time that you spend. You put your technicians working on X. So I really like to dive in. I understand the revenue, I understand the profitability and the utilization, and I can usually help an MSP save some money pretty quickly.
So how did you end up going from owning your own MSP to working for one? Is there pros and cons to those approaches? What drove you to go work for somebody as opposed to work for yourself?
Well, what I loved about the channel was the distributors, your Ingram Micros, your Tech Datas, your Synexes, companies like that. They really help shepherd and steward a small MSP through the channel. Just MDF alone, every company has 10 different policies about who can use it, how, when, where, why. And if you aren't consolidated through a central location like a distributor to spoon feed you that information that you don't have the time to look up, it's very difficult. So after I sold my MSP, I realized that there were so many other MSPs out there that hadn't gone through the maturity levels that we hadn't built, hadn't hired, hadn't sold. So I thought it would be good to really just, get back to 101 and start helping MSPs with the things that you really should have focused on day one when you built your business. Every report you want to run at the end of the year, you got to start tracking at the beginning. So, those little institutional steps that you can get you to a higher operational maturity level, if you're familiar with Paul Dippel's terminology.
Yeah, well, that's great that you took all that knowledge and insight that you learned over the years and channeled to help other MSPs. Because I've heard of so many MSPs and talked to so many that like they're excited to sell their MSP, and then a year later they're starting a new one. So going right back into the grindstone. I guess they just like building new things as opposed to helping others. But that's fantastic. One of the reasons why we had you on this week is we wanted to talk. You mentioned the ChannelPro Live conference that you attended there, and you're part of a panel session that talks about AI. And I really loved some of the talking points that you had there and some of the examples that you gave about the practical use of AI. So in your mind, recap a little bit about kind of what your preparation was going into that event, and kind of what the current climate of what AI is today.
Well, it was really interesting. The amount of people that you had in the room, and 40% of them had not yet logged into an AI LLM to do anything or test. So I found that the content of my presentation was actually perfect because it was focused at lower, easier hurdles to get in, rather than trying to start programming and do things with AI. Isn't it much easier just to start with the low-hanging fruit? And Matt, you were a great example on stage that day. I gave the Swiss Army knife analogy, and everybody used the knife, but you were the only person in the room that ever used the fish scaler. So should Victorinox take the fish scaler out because 1 out of 100 people used it? No, it's there for a reason, and you may not have that reason, but if you ever do, it's there and at your fingertips. So when it comes to AI, you really just have to start off very, very low level. Use it to rewrite your website, use it to rewrite customer emails, use it to verify and spell check. Language is the easiest entry to AI. An example I gave was back in the mid to late 90s when I was working at Scholastic's Books as a project manager. Before they gave me the Y2K project, the last project I had was to implement Dragon Naturally Speaking, which was a dictation software, but it ate all the resources on your computer. And unless you shut everything down and really understood the requirements, you weren't getting the best out of it. Well, this is like that for 2024. It is a tool that, if you know how to use it, will enhance what you're doing, will make your job easier, will save you time. There's no two ways about it. But don't think that you're going to go into the PhD level of AI quickly. You cannot.
Got it. Harks back and brings back nightmares of training Dragon Naturally Speaking. Do you remember like all of the sentences you had to say? It took hours to train that.
And we were an international company at Scholastic. We had accents, and as soon as you didn't have a straight neutral accent, it was very difficult. And the training. Now, what I like about training AI today is you train it on what you want to train it on. You tell it you need to act as one of my system engineers, and you tell it the software that it's going to work with. So every day you can ask that AI, hey, what should my system engineers be doing today? And you build that out for your business, and it's essentially a little running manager for any role in the business. Anyone can say to it, what should I be doing right now?
So those who are new to LLMs should probably go and hit one of the big public large language models to get started, just to kind of dip their toes in.
Copilot is Microsoft's, Gemini's is Google. We have Claude, and
ChatGPT is probably the biggest
one. Of course, the original ChatGPT, of course.
Yeah, and that's a good way to kind of wet your whistle and get a good understanding of what these things can do. And of course, I encourage anyone to play around with DALL-E and just give it wacky images to create, because it's super fun to see what it comes up with. But it also.
I was doing a little art piece the other day, and I couldn't just figure out. I couldn't put the two things together what I wanted to do, and I asked Copilot to create an American traditional tattoo of a spider web for me. And 5 images came right up. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, and it just kept it moving. But I like it's like a little running assistant, a little gopher for you for whatever you need.
There's a lot of other practical things that businesses can be doing with AI. So we talked about first going to like one of the large LLMs, but I always saw that the future of the real practical business use case features of AI that's going to be really useful for business will be locally ran LLMs or SLMs that's trained on just your own data or on whatever data set you need. What are some of the things businesses should be thinking about in order to leverage current AI in their own businesses in an effective and efficient way?
It's never been more important to not shoot and then aim. It is so important not to just jump in. Why are you using it? What's the plan? What holes are we filling in the business? What is our business not good at? Who can't spell in the business? Who are our marketing people? Do they take too long? Are they too verbose? Do we need more buzzwords in our marketing materials? Does our website need a rewrite? Don't think that you're going to expand your business's offerings with this technology on day one. The opportunity is for you to tighten up everything you're doing on day one. Your customer emails, your sales proposals. Easy tightening up. And those are the types of things that once there's less to deal with, and less words on the website loads faster, and less pages loads faster, and maybe they're redundant, and so look at what you're currently doing today and make that better before you look to expand offerings.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that to get started, a business should look at leveraging AI internally to make themselves more efficient, right?
What I'm working on now is an interesting one for the MSP space, where we'll load all of the roles in your business, their daily responsibilities, and the roles that you hope to hire in the future. So let's say my business can't afford a CIO today or a CISO today. Well, what does a CISO do in most small businesses? What are some of those tasks that we can start being proactive about today? How do we spread those CISO responsibilities out among all the technical staff, managers to help desk, to start backfilling and making that role a little bit more tangible, to say, hey, we can afford this. This does make sense. Or everybody's handling it. Let's look at something else. So build your custom GPT around your MSP and how you work, and it will act as you. What should my admins be doing today? They have 2 free hours. What should my technicians be focused on today? What's the most important thing I should be updating? But you build all those out so that anyone can pop in for their role. Hey, act as a junior engineer. How do I fill out a timesheet? And there's my procedure that pops up from the company, and that helps that person along. It could be as easy as just pulling something out of your user guide or employee operations manual. But what if you don't have one? This can help you write those as well. So fill in the gaps of what should be on the table today before you start thinking about new services to offer.
So let's go down that path a little bit. So let's say that there's someone who is has a business that they've already done all of those things. They've leveraged AI internally. They've gotten those policies written. They've got their own GPT kind of custom and trained and written for them, and it's helping them. What do they do next to not just become efficient and save money, but to actually make money? Like what's the next step of putting together an offering for a customer? What can they do for a customer around AI?
So now we're talking a little bit further down the road. So now we're talking more about responses and analytics. Okay. So the number one thing, we're not there yet, but if I could design a really good chat bot that understands my company, understands my clients, and understands the products and services that I sell, that can reference Microsoft Tech Notes and industry docs and release notes and things like that, minimum system requirements, all of those things that come up in the normal course of support can be pulled from live sources and fed back in to a ticket before the engineer even gets to it. So I'm thinking a little bit bigger, as people can put the chatbots in to their website. Oh, Mr. Customer, you have a problem? Go to my website. Oh, start chatting. And when you say the keywords, I need to open up a ticket. The ticket gets created under a standard API formatting for whatever PSA you're using, and ticket gets created. Everyone gets updated, and the engineer gets the ticket with some tech notes in there to help them speed up the troubleshooting, and especially potentially even eliminate the initial ticket need.
Interesting. And what are some other ways that an MSP can profit from AI. So we're talking about
Okay.
supporting customers and getting tickets.
Listen, Matt, I'm a big proponent of lowered expenses equals higher retained earnings, i.e. profits. So if we can stop spending the busy time wasting time. One of the things I love is, and I mentioned it in the session, was your Zoom transcription services. The little bot that you leave running while you're in a meeting that gives you your tasks and your summary and your bulleted items of who did what during that meeting. I estimated remember, when you have a meeting, you're usually meeting with one or two other people, one or two other companies. So you look at each business in the meeting. For every two people, they're going to be spending about 30 minutes after the meeting each writing notes, taking steps, follow up, send an email, get the next meeting ready, whatever that is. Now it's all listed out and can be delegated. Doesn't have to be done by the meeting participants. So the time saving alone through just properly transcribed meetings is going to save your average MSP probably 10 or 15 billable hours at the end of the week. And that's money. That's more time that these engineers are available to service customers or go out and build services or upgrade their monthly management customers. It's very important. If we could just do all of our busy work much quicker, the work that doesn't have to do with servicing customers, we're in good shape.
Well, it's a good tip of the iceberg of some of the stuff that we're talking about at our live events. And you're going to be presenting at some future ChannelPro live events. Which ones are you going to be presenting at?
I'll be at Charlotte in September and Dallas in October. Looking forward to both.
So folks, if you want to hear a little bit more about Ronnie's insights on ways to leverage AI and good practical solutions, not kind of pie in the sky stuff, really easy things that you can do today, I encourage you to check out, if you're anywhere in those areas, the Charlotte area or in Dallas, September 9th and 10th in Charlotte, and October 9th and 10th in Dallas. Go and register. We'll put a code up on the screen so you can do that. It's free to attend. I highly encourage you to come and check it out. So Ronnie, we got a few extra minutes. So other than AI, which is obviously a huge topic and it's dominating headlines and everybody's brains, what are some of the other big things that's happening right now that Ronnie is thinking about? What's a hot topic that's on your mind?
The consolidation and gobbling up of companies in the PSA and RMM space is scaring me.
Is it? So recent example.
Well, I don't like, I mean, unless I'm mistaken, ConnectWise is a hedge fund now. That's not their core business.
Yeah.
They started out as a tech shop. So I'm concerned that the growth in our industry is spawning the wrong types of investments. We haven't seen anything revolutionary in the PSA space in how many years? Probably since the first RMM integrations. And that was a long time ago. We're not heavily developing these roadmaps. The PSA software is not, it's the core of every single good MSP, and it really is still a drag. So I'm concerned that the people that are really building our industry up aren't really focused on the industry anymore. In terms of tools, I'm just training on LLMs between Copilot and Claude. I'm trying to see which ones of those are going to be some fun ways that people can help their businesses easily. Because remember, as soon as we get something concrete out of these, we bounce them off each other and we make them better. So run your stuff through a couple of different models to play with. But how it plugs into social media, LinkedIn, you can write every one of your posts with AI now. It's really jumping into some weird areas that maybe it wasn't meant for. And I think it's smart to keep an eye on it.
So, and we should always caveat any AI conversation that we have, especially with some of these larger language models like Claude and Gemini. You have to fact check, right?
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier. Don't trust anything that gets kicked out. Read everything. Make sure it all makes sense. You're not looking for typos. You're looking for a sentence that will not make sense to your clients.
Yeah, or these things
They're
have
in
a
there.
tendency to hallucinate as well if it doesn't know the answer that you're asking for, and it'll just make it up. I've had many examples of that in my dealings with it.
Right. And that's why I said earlier, it's very important to upload a process to the AI to get that process back. So make sure that it's not making up a process for you. So whatever you do on a daily, upload your process to the system and tell it, make it better. That's fine, but then lock it in and do that every time. Repeatability is what we're looking for in AI. So the next engineer can come in and be exactly as efficient as the senior guy.
Any other last quick tips that to make using an LMM easier to get better results out of one?
What I've been doing is keeping a live document, an online Word document with all of my training as it goes, so that I can go back and, oh, that's not working so well. Let's go back to the original inputs and tweak it. Anytime you make a change, always make sure you make the change in your business, because if something is kicking out a process to your people and they don't know that, so whatever you put into the AI, make sure that that's in a handbook or something else that people can browse or peruse or update somewhere else, not just in the system, because you don't want to just have a single source.
We are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to try a new segment out that we're going to try week to week here for a while and see what it's like. We're going to call it 3 questions. I knew we used to do one called 5 questions, but that was more about kind of fun. This is going to be 3 quick questions we're going to hit Ronnie with to get some quick answers, and we'll see how that goes. That should be fun. And we're going to talk about a couple other things. So stick around. We will be right back. And we are back now on the other side of the break here. Ronnie Parisella from DataBit is still with us, talking about AI. We had a great first half of the session here, and it was really insightful, really interesting stuff. We're going to switch gears. We're going to try a new segment here on ChannelPro Weekly to see if we can get a little bit of fun, but a little bit of extra insight in a kind of a quick hit manner. So we're going to call it 3 questions. We got them pre-written in this case. Ronnie, we're going to hit them with you. Here we go. We were talking about AI, so we'll kind of keep this AI themed for now. So 3 questions. Question number 1: name one thing about AI that frightens you.
I'll speak just for the industry, MSPs. I think a lot of MSPs are not going to tackle AI adoption the right way and avoid it. And that is not good for us. I would say there's a legitimate fear that not enough people are going to see the need initially and dig deep enough to understand how it can really help their business to take advantage of it. And that's silly and scary to me.
All right. Question 2: what is the worst case scenario for MSPs?
Expecting it to enhance their business instead of fill gaps. It's like I said earlier, we can use it to start planning future hires and roles and tasks, but it's not a manager. It's not a programmer. It's going to give you snippets of code. It's going to help you troubleshoot something. It's not going to do your job for you. And I think a lot of MSPs are going to tackle that the wrong way, thinking that it's another technical tool and I can make money off of it instead of saving money with it.
All right. And question number 3: what's one thing MSPs should be doing around AI right now?
Planning its adoption. You don't necessarily have to be testing, but you have to see what other companies are using it for, how it can help you, and immediately start testing out some low-hanging fruit, some very easy things. In my testing, I've found people that are typers, people that create content, this is a big help for. But the more they write, the less they think they need this. So it's a question of, I don't need that, instead of, oh, I that could help me. And you really need to not be scared of it, and just start slow, very, very, very slow.
Awesome. Well, thanks for answering those 3 questions for us. I appreciate it. And for those checking out those 3 questions, of course, we encourage you to subscribe to the ChannelPro Weekly podcast. You get those 3 questions every single week, and a whole lot more. So Ronnie, I wanted to take a second, because I know you mentioned a little while ago off camera here that you got an interesting opportunity that kind of came your way. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm from Brooklyn, And I've always had Coney Island in my soul, and going out there as kids and beach and fishing and hot dogs and the rides. It was just a part of summers growing up. So I got pretty friendly with the Adam Reelman, the artistic director out in Coney Island, and I was the judge for a couple of beard competitions out there. And through that relationship, he's going to be planning the first ever Coney Island ComicCon, and I'm going to help plan it with him.
That
Pretty
is
excited.
amazing. So
Yeah,
what?
never
So
had one out there before. It should be fun.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you need to? I couldn't even imagine planning something like Comic-Con. What are some of the things that you're going to be doing, working on, thinking about?
Artists, vendors, events. I mean, we have to have the Coney Island feel to it. So there's got to be some freaks and geeks walking around, maybe some strongmen, some sword swallowers, lizard lady, bearded lady, all that fun stuff. That makes Coney Island and Brooklyn, that part of it special. So I'm always been a big comic book guy, big Spider-Man guy, and I'm pretty excited to bring it to my hometown.
That is very, very exciting. Very exciting. So you grew up in that area. What's your favorite ride at Coney Island?
The bumper cars. I like the bumper cars. Yeah.
Classic. There's a roller coaster. I can't remember the name of it that everybody always talks about at Coney Island.
Cyclone.
Yeah, it's Cyclone. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably grew up riding that, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So, and for our viewing audience, they've been wowed and been able to enjoy the view of Mr. Ronnie Parisella's fabulous beard. I always make it a point to highlight it on here. It's one of the reasons to watch on YouTube, by the way, because you get to see some of the cool things about our guests. But Ronnie, I would never want to give up an opportunity to let you plug your. It's the only time we ever let anybody plug anything on the show is to let Ronnie plug his beard sponsor. Ronnie, who is your beard sponsor?
Thank you. Well, let's start with the important company. I'm going to plug DataBit first. DataBitMSP.com. Great company, great people. Anything we can help you with, we'd love to. And my beard sponsor is Royal Beard Club out of Long Island.
Fantastic, and it is magnificent.
Thank you so much.
Things I love having you on here. So so that was a great show. We talked a little bit about our live events. We've got a lot of events coming up, both online and in person. In fact, July 17th is our next ChannelPro deep dive. We're going to talk about strategies for selling cybersecurity services. I encourage everyone to come to that because it's online, it's easy, it's quick, it's free. It takes about it's only about an hour, but we're going to cram a lot of stuff into that time period. So you're going to get a lot out of it, and of course, you can join from home, you can join from your phone, you can join from anywhere, you can be in your pajamas. It doesn't matter because it's just an online event. So come be comfortable and learn with us. We got several other big events coming up. In fact, our first ChannelPro Defend event in Iselin, New Jersey is coming up here August 7th and August 8th on the East Coast there. I really encourage everyone to come out to that one. It's 2 days of all cybersecurity goodness and knowledge. So please come out and check that out with us, of course. And then we got ChannelPro Live in Charlotte coming up September 9th and September 10th. And ChannelPro Live in Dallas, October 9th and 10th, and our West ChannelPro Defend West event in LA, November 12th and 13th. I've been putting up graphics on the screen for those who are watching on YouTube. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, click the subscribe button, click the like, click the bell, there's a lot of buttons on YouTube. Click them all and leave a comment. We always appreciate that as well. And if you're listening, open up the description area on your phone here for this episode, and we got links in there to register for all of these events and more. There's more online stuff. I didn't even cover everything there, so please make sure you check those out. And also check out ChannelProNetwork.com each and every week. That's where we have the latest news, lots of good headlines going right now. In fact, what are some stories we got to check out? We got a story about MSP franchising, whether or not to figure out if that's right for you, navigating the deep fake threats, 5 ways MSPs can counter misuse. Kaspersky is in the news recently, and they've got a statement on the U.S. Commerce Department's determination. Very, very interesting story. We're following that one closely. Go into the site and check that out. And we've got another trending story. 4 companies join the Pax8 marketplace with new solutions, automation, and more. So that's just a tiny snippet of all of the things you can find at ChannelProNetwork.com. So bookmark it, set it at your homepage, go there each and every day. Make sure that you include that in your daily travels online, so that way you can stay up to date and you can learn all kinds of awesome stuff that will help you with your business, either be more efficient, make more money, keep you on top of what's going on in this crazy business. Lots of reasons to go there. Please, please do so. And we encourage your feedback. With a lot of changes at ChannelPro Weekly, when we're still trying to work out the format and figure out what everybody kind of wants out of this. So please, I really encourage you, send us an email. podcast@channelpronetwork.com is the email address. Send us an email with your feedback, your thoughts, what you'd like to see, or you can post it on YouTube or any of our social pages. But if you send it to that email address, it'll go right to me and our team here. So that would be great to get your feedback. So please do that. And Ronnie, I want to thank you for coming on today and talking AI and talking about Coney Island ComicCon. That's totally awesome. For anybody who wants to connect with you and get to know you more, work with you, find out more, where can they find you?
LinkedIn, very easy. And databit, msp.com. Facebook me. I use my real name, not hiding from anybody, but LinkedIn.
I always use my fake superhero name online, You can only imagine what that is. It's a surprise for everyone else. Anyway, with that, I want to thank everyone for joining us here on ChannelPro Weekly 265. We will be back with more next week. See you then.